Throughout his decades of public service, President Jimmy Carter was known to take on causes that align deeply with his Christian faith. So it makes sense that religion played a part in inspiring the Secret Service codename for the 39th president. The Secret Service develops codenames for every U.S. president and their family members. One's representative of the president's values and lifestyle. President Ronald Reagan was known as Rawhide because of his appreciation for ranching and appearances in multiple Western films, for instance. And John F. Kennedy was called Lancer because folks analogized him and his administration to the knight Lancelot from Arthurian legend. President Jimmy Carter, however, received a more reverent nickname. According to Reader's Digest, the Secret Service referred to President Carter as Deacon because of his long-standing dedication to the Baptist Church. Deacons, for the uninitiated, are officials in churches who share the ministry and governance of a congregation. Historically, they're responsible for practical and charitable functions within the Christian community, and the position can also come with responsibilities like preaching, blessing marriages, and officiating at funerals and burials. While Jimmy Carter never held any official clerical position, he taught Sunday school since the 1980s, even through a bout of melanoma in 2015. He taught all the way to the age of 98 before he finally had to stop due to declining health. Deacon was the perfect title for President Jimmy Carter. Prior to taking office in 1977, President Carter was not only the nation's most presidentially inclined peanut farmer, but a dedicated Christian. Carter's home church, Maranatha Baptist Church Plains in Plains, Georgia, contains link after link related to the former president. It also, in light of President Carter's recent turn to hospice care, sadly states on its top banner that he will not be teaching Sunday school until further notice. President Carter's classes were very well attended while they were in session. CNN has footage of President Carter's disarming, charming, and very Christian disposition on display at the interactive start of class, while the Washington Post describes attendees lining up like pilgrims as early as 5:45 in the morning to attend a 10 o'clock lecture. After the lecture, attendees were allowed to pose with the former president and his wife for a photo, under the supervision of the Secret Service. Former presidents, it should be noted, received Secret Service protection for life. President Carter's Sunday lesson, described in the Washington Post, focused on the New Testament book of Galatians. The message, in keeping with President Carter's post-presidential career and work, focused on peace and humanitarianism. During his decades of public service, Carter was noteworthy for being openly religious and pushing for the importance of faith alongside democratic initiatives like universal health care and lowered military spending. He pushed for Christians to involve themselves in politics and bring faith and religious values into the conversation. As he wrote in his 2018 book, Faith, A Journey for All, "I believe now more than then that Christians are called to plunge into the life of the world and to inject the moral and ethical values of our faith into the processes of governing." True to his religious background and the presidential nickname Deacon, President Carter worked relentlessly in humanitarian and human rights circles since his presidency ended in 1981. The former president has done much of his work through the Carter Center, focusing on two major sets of programs, peace and health.
I would say, as far as public service is concerned, I was a champion of peace and human rights.
The guinea worm eradication program, for instance, has all but completely eliminated worldwide cases of guinea worm, a painful type of parasite that gestates in the human abdomen and needs to be physically tugged out from a person's body. The conflict resolution program disseminates peaceful ideologies through global regions likely to see violent upheaval, including Syria, Mali, and Sudan. President Carter has also worked with Habitat for Humanity, the National Foundation for Infectious Diseases, and he received the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. Aside from his religiously themed nickname Deacon, the Secret Service also granted President Carter the moniker Lockmaster, according to NBC New York. The reasons are unspecified.